in. All right.
You're listening to the PT Pintcast, where smart people in healthcare come to make noise. Here's your host, Jimmy McKay.
Here's the thing. AI isn't replacing clinicians, but it is quietly changing the room before clinicians ever walk in. Andrea is with me again. Welcome to Marketing Doesn't Work, which is the best marketing for a podcast segment, which is people. We either we're confirming what people think and they're like, yeah, and they can't wait to come here and listen to all the ways we agree. They agree with us. And then they get here and they're like, oh, it doesn't work when you do it poorly. You wrote some words on the LinkedIn, and you said you asked Claude, want me to help you draft what to say in your upcoming doctor's appointment to get what you need. I think healthcare, myself included, needs to pay attention to the fact that, yes, AI scribes, if you're not researching it, I'm very sorry, you are behind by a lot. Not too late to catch up. I think our blind spot is we are very focused on ourselves in terms of healthcare and not thinking. Somebody had a statistic, like 3% of all ChatGPT searches were related to, is this cancer? What's this thing on my foot? Upload an image. And that is not going to shrink. That is going to get larger and larger. So you had written on LinkedIn about this. Here's the thing: to get what you need, not to challenge your provider, not to prove you're smarter, but you want to arrive clearer, more prepared, more confident. We've been in those rooms before. By the time you leave, you're like, oh, I didn't ask the 3 things I wanted. You didn't write them down. You thought you were going to have 30 minutes with that's not happening.
No, it's not.
So where's the big blind spot here in terms of what are we in terms of healthcare not seeing? Patients or have Googled symptoms forever. What's new is AI is helping them frame the questions, priorities, goals, what comes next. How's that change the dynamic in the room more than just raw information ever did before?
Yeah, so I think it's not new, right? So I was an early user of WebMD. It's like, I have these symptoms. What is wrong with me?
Cancer.
It's always, you're always dying for sure. And Google. And so people, it's not new. What is new, I think, like you said, is I sort of went to Claude with some ongoing thing that like I have going on and was trying to get some updated information based on like labs and that sort of thing. And then Claude said, do you want me to help you come up with these questions? And I think what changed is, so a few things. I think, like you said, healthcare providers are focused on the operational, like me side. How can I use AI to help me be more efficient, that sort of thing. And I don't know if it's a blind spot. I think at one point, maybe it was a blind spot, but I think part of it is like a lot of providers don't want to accept that this is the patient behavior because patients go to them because they are the expert. That is not changing. And so I think if providers can come at it from a place of, not from a place of ego, but from a place of how can I meet them where they are and, answer questions they may still have and like validate them, I feel like it would be a healthier dynamic, because what happens is patients are feeling scared, confused. They're going in, they're not feeling heard. We know, like, you get 7 minutes or something with your doctor and you're not getting good answers, or they're gaslighting you, or like whatever it is, coming from the perspective of a female that has tried to get answers from providers. So I think it's just providers need to be ready for this. And maybe it's a blind spot, but maybe it's just, we don't want to accept that a patient's coming in with information from the internet and they are challenging what we are saying.
Here's the thing. I had this experience yesterday where I was the second person involved, just like this situation. I play old man beer league hockey. One of my defensemen has now figured out I know some stuff. I don't tell people I'm a physical therapist because all of a sudden their shoulder or their back or their knee hurts immediately. But he was like, hey, man, did this. And I just asked him 3 questions. Probably the first 3 questions most physical therapists would ask. I said, does it hurt when you do this? Or how about this? How about this? And he wrote back, yeah. AI asked me that already. I was validating the AI. Do you know what I mean? He was like, oh, Jimmy is smart because he asked me the same things that the computer asked me.
That checks
not
out.
the other way around. So we are past that. I was he just wanted a human to sort of validate that, which is kind of funny if you think about it, right? Because it's got all the collective worldwide knowledge of patellofemoral pain in hockey players. And he ultimately decided it was probably not a great idea to play last night, and he didn't play. I think if I hadn't answered the text message, 50-50 shot. I don't know.
You don't know, right?
I have something similar but not the same. People ask me to do stuff for them, as you do too, as somebody who's like fractional in marketing, whatever it is that Andrea does. Andrea's a hired gun. She's like, yeah, you need this? Great. They gave me I was like, put in a list because we discussed, this is an organization, a large organization. We put in a list. I was like, I could do 100 things, but I can't do 100 things. I could do 100. Let's say I can do 3. Well, put in a list of, out of all those things I just threw at you, go back, you meet with your team, which always takes a while. Come back to me with what you want me to do. This is for an in-person event. The lead up, on site, and then what we do with it after.
Yep.
Put in a giant list. And again, finances have not been discussed. And I said, for shits and gigs, hey man, just so we're clear, I can't do this for free. Like, I'm gonna have to fly somewhere. As soon as I get off my couch, the meter's sort of running, right? Like, someone was aghast the other day because I'm in the New York City area, and they were like, you put $300 down for parking. I'm like, you have me coming to your place for 6 days. It's $45 a day in parking.
More than that.
Sorry, man. Yeah. Sorry. That's parking. That's for me to get. Anyway, so I said, I'm telling you, this has something to do with what we're talking about. I said, just copy paste what you just asked me to do into whatever AI you want, and then just say, what do you think this would cost? The answer was, a lot more than I thought that would cost. And I go, I won't even charge you that, but I can't charge you 0.
Right. Somewhere between.
I can't lose money on this. So my point is, people are using this in different ways. My point in how I used it, I forced it back on them. I didn't say I put it in AI and it said it costs this. I said, you do it.
You use it.
So when are we going to see, instead of a chat bot trying to schedule someone, which in my opinion is operationally important, but should be solved already. I can get a haircut. I can figure out when my boy Rod is ready for a haircut, lickety split. Right. But not a provider, which still confuses me in 2026. But when are we going to start to see some front-facing AI either on, is it even going to be on a provider's homepage, or is it going to be a web? When's WebMD going to be? I'm Web Doctor. I don't know.
It's an opportunity I think people are probably working on. And there's a lot of opportunity there. And I think part of it is, people are nervous about risk. Like, I remember way back before, this was probably 15 years or something. And I was working with a healthcare organization, and someone wanted to put chat, just like literally just a chat on the website. And we had to go through. And I was kind of like, I don't even know if we should be doing this, right? Like, we need so many disclaimers, and if this is a medical emergency, and like, don't come to. So that being said, I think we've advanced, and I think people are working on it, and there's huge opportunity, like, for providers to be able to do that, or someone to do that. And then providers will try to figure out, they'll scramble and go like, how do we get in on that?
We'll be a day late and $5 million short.
Exactly.
And then be confused how we got left behind.
Right.
And here's, in my opinion, why. We rely on degrees. Well, I've earned this, therefore I am, and that's how it used to work 30 years ago. Gosh, I remember my grandmother talking about, like, if a doctor said, hop on your right foot 3 times and take the pill, you hopped on your right foot, now your left, you're right. 3 times you took the pill. It was the word of God. And now it's like, I'm going to question everything, which is fine. But the providers are now saying, well, I have to justify everything. Yeah. Have you seen the world? Yes. You have to justify everything.
Providers are already in a tough spot for a lot of reasons. So this is like one more thing. But it's not new. But it is, like you said, they said jump on your foot, and you're jumping on your foot, hopping on your foot. Recently I wrote on LinkedIn, and maybe you saw it, I think it was another AI post when maybe ChatGPT Health was coming out. Many years ago, I was auditing patient experience as part of like larger marketing work for a multi-site organization. And I walked in, and this is a true story. One of the providers had like a framed sign that said, your Google search, my medical degree is worth more than your Google search. And I was like, hey, don't disagree, sir, but you need to take that down. That is not what patients want to see.
Then there's also the statistic of litigation. And I'll find the statistic. Again, verify. I'll use AI. It'll find me for me fast. Which is, you could have two people provide the same error, but the physician or the provider who had better rapport with the patient was less likely to be sued. So it's like, what are you actually, this is where like Andrea and Jimmy get, people hate us in rooms because we keep asking why. We need a chatbot on the website. Awesome. Why? We want to do this. The car salesman down the street has one. Okay. We're not doing that, but also why?
Right.
So why are people coming to see you is changing. I think this is a good thing. We've argued on our PT Breakfast Club. This is a good thing. Like, get the people who don't need to be there the answer, and then don't bring them in. I don't want someone in front of me, if I own a clinic, if they don't need to be there. I'd rather, unless they need a little reassurance. Hey, listen, man, you're good. Look at me. You're good. And that does something to a human because we have brains, right?
Yep.
I don't know. I see this as all things. It will be an advantage to the people who use it right. And it will run people over. I had a post the other day, nothing to do with this. And my post was a public service announcement. It was, do not, under any circumstance, try to fix your snowblower with your hand. Why? It's real quick. Guy across the street when I was growing up, my dad walked outside, bunch of red snow. And my dad was like, oh, that's not good. Yeah, he cut his hand off. But that's what AI is. It's 100 million snowblowers. And if you're not using it, you're shoveling, and that's okay.
Right.
But you're getting the snow move slowly, and it might blow your back out. You could also use it improperly and cut your hand off. And I think they're not looking at it from both sides.
Right. I think we need to look at it from both sides. And I think it's exactly like you said, the people who need to be there will get the information they need and they'll be there. Some people just need validation. That's fine. But it's like, how do we put guardrails around usage of it? And that's on people who are creating the technology. And that's on people who are creating the content that feeds the technology.
Yeah. Ben, if I could have 10 people in my waiting room who truly want and need me versus 100 who don't, he would take the 10 any day and operational around the 10 any day. Let's say, yes. And those 90 that you said, you're good, bro, feel something, and we'll go tell 5 people each, that's the guy. He's going to do you right.
Right.
Here's the big problem, though, that people are probably screaming at the speaker, and I agree. Our system is not set up to be that guy. Your system is set up to get 100 people in because we can find something. And I wouldn't want to be in that. I don't want to be that guy. But
right.
The system is set up against you to like, well, I got to get something or else we don't pay lights or salaries or health benefits.
I wonder, I would love someone to do some research on compliance. So compliance in patients, right? Someone who can do this. So people who come in, who use AI responsibly, and they come in informed and they're like, here's what I found out. Here's what I sort of need from you. They come back and they continue the course of care through their 12 visits or whatever it is. We like those people versus, we have like 10 who want to be there, 90 who don't. Like the 90 who don't, where do they drop off? And like, then we have to get anyway. So like, is someone paying attention to this?
I think so. Yeah. This is the $1 billion question. And this would be a great Oxford debate category or prompt, which is like patient noncompliance. Right. Like, dude, if you told me I had to bring my car in 3 times And in between time 2 and 3, I was having beers on my back deck, and my buddy who's like sort of mechanical is like, what are you bringing it back the third time for? I'm like, well, they said it needs 3. It needs 3. He's like, what? But what didn't the first 2 do? And you're like, 3. It needs, we've done 2, but it needs 3. And you're like, why? And you're like, I don't know. And he's like, I don't know, man. I'd save $90 and not go. And I'm like, oh yeah. Is this, but keep in mind, Jimmy has a lens of communication, right? Is it an expectation? But if you were like, no, we can't do one, I'm making words. We're fixing your axle. We can't do it all at once because of flanges. And I'm like, oh, flanges. That makes sense. I'd be more apt to be like, oh, hey, buddy, it's flanges. They don't have the flanges yet. It's a flange issue. I don't even know what flanges are. But like, I'd be like, got it. That, and my buddy, if that was a real thing, if I wasn't getting hosed, would be like, oh, no, that's a thing. Sorry. I had a friend the other day sold something on Facebook Marketplace, and then she comes to me because I'm the guy. I know enough. Here's the problem. I know enough about technology to be the guy people go to. I can use technology. But when something goes wrong, I call someone. Anyway, she sold something on Facebook Marketplace overseas. She shipped the thing. And then she's like, it's supposed to pay me $3,000. She said she has to pay me $500 at a time. And I go, are you using Zelle? And she goes, yeah. And I go, did you just connect with this person on Zelle? And she's like, yeah. I go, no, that's a thing. That's all you're looking for. Oh, no, that's a thing. Because again, why do you go back 3 times? Because this, oh, no, that's actually a thing. It's missed expectation. It's just misaligned explanation. I don't know. Remembering back all the prerequisites I took to get into PT school, none of them were communications classes. Like none. I did a poll on LinkedIn the other day. How many people actively teach and assess and provide feedback to communication? A lot of people are like, all the time. And I'm like, I don't remember that. It was 10 years ago. I could be wrong, but not really. I don't remember it. Like, I would need to show me then. I'd love to take the course. Can I audit your communication course in PT school? Because I don't remember it.
It's not.
A rant there.
Tony's it's good. I always enjoy Jimmy rants.
Tony's the kind of guy who's like, I don't want you in my clinic if you're not the right fit. Like, no, like not right.
It's a waste of everyone's time.
Yeah, and it takes a spot for someone who it's better for. But I get it. If you're just starting a clinic, who you take? Do you have a pulse? Yes. Come on in. We can find something.
I mean, this goes back to what we talk about with like your ICP and your persona, right? Like you want this person, not all of the people.
Correct. You've talked about working in healthcare with CEOs.
Yes.
CEOs are not all the same. They just have a job title, not a persona per se. But you've talked about a frustration that I've felt. It's when you get to a certain level of organization. Again, I didn't really understand this until I saw it firsthand. But the people who are doing $1 million a year versus $10 million a year versus $100 a year, they have different problems. They are facing different things. They're just operationally different. You've talked about, and I think my comment was, the CEO that will hire an Andrea and then make Andrea get everything that she's doing approved, which slows everything down, or the CEO's fingerprints are now over everything. And then 6 months later, marketing doesn't work. And I think my comment was something like, well, if you're going to have to approve everything that comes out of the kitchen, don't be surprised when the soup tastes like fingers if you keep touching it. That's got to be a huge hindrance, and it's tainting everything. Imagine your clinic director had to approve everything you did. That would slow everything down and change. I call it a Frankenstein. When you have to appease the boardroom, by the time the idea walks out, it looks like a man, walks like a man, but it ain't a man. It's a Frankenstein.
It's you see like a homepage and you can tell it was a Frankenstein homepage because the CEO wants to, like, everyone has their input until it's watered down and it doesn't say anything, or it looks like a lot of things.
We've talked about this before. Usually like one of the biggest voices in the room when talking about social media is usually the CEO's 16-year-old niece. My 16-year-old niece is big on Instagram. TikTok. And I'm like, tell me more. In healthcare, like in this or in something else? no, she says our Instagram sucks. And I'm like, well, it probably does because we use that consulting firm that charged a lot of money and did the same thing 9 other practices that are just like us is doing. But yeah, let's go this way. Is she going to get a job, or is this an internship? Is she in front or behind the camera? How do you deal with that? Like, how do you deal with that?
Not well, Jimmy. How do you deal with it? So and there's been many times. So every time this has happened, my question is that person our target audience? Maybe they are. I don't know. Like, maybe. But what's their background and what's their reasoning for this? And let's walk through like why we've done what we've done. And sure, if you have a very valid reason and we decide, hey, this makes sense to do, let's try to do it. But your 16-year-old who consumes social media but has never developed a social media strategy probably isn't the person to do it for us.
Yeah. But how do you have that? I think I also asked a question because your posts on LinkedIn wind up blowing up. And I'm like in the comments, even my comments got a lot of traffic.
I know, you're going
and
viral
I said,
comments.
What percentage of your time is spent doing marketing versus defending what you're doing? It's like, if you'd stop asking me and just let me do the thing, I'd get a lot more done than defending all the decisions you hired me to make.
Yes. So this was, and I think my response was a mean girl image that said the limit does not exist. So you spend a lot of time defending what you are doing in marketing. And I've realized that's whether you're really good at what you do, not really good. Like, you just spend a lot of time. And this does not happen in other functions. Marketing is this really weird, because people consume marketing, they are marketing experts.
Say that again.
Because people consume marketing, they think they are marketing experts.
No one brings in the accounting guy because we're not consuming a lot of accounting going, why are you using double ledger? I'm making up terms now. Why are you using double ledger PEMDAS method versus this method? And like, well, I think we need to be like, what's the guy, Jerome Powell? Did you ever see him in a press conference?
I don't think so.
They ask him a question like, yeah, are you worried about this? And he's no.
Yes, exactly.
Why are you doing this? It's the best idea. It was the best possible route to take in the situation we were in with the resources you gave me with the goal I was assigned to hit. End story. I wind up explaining because it's a marriage of like, here's the problem. This is a telephone game. There are humans trying to send a message through time and space, but not through time and space, through a medium of pictures, sounds, videos, or words to hit another human. Well, what's somebody asked in a meeting? I did answer like Jerome Powell in this meeting. If we start doing this, how many views can you guarantee us in a year? And I went, none. I can say that this is best practice right now, but I will guarantee you nothing. And she was like stunned. I think she was waiting for me to bullshit an answer. And I was like, I will give you the truest of answers. None. You might have crappy content. I'm the person trying to polish the turd or the brilliance. I'm very sorry for you, but this does not guarantee that.
Right. I mean, that's the hard thing about marketing. And so marketers are never like, I recently 2 years ago launched this CEO CMO leadership reset, which is essentially marriage counseling. I think we talked about
this. Is a brilliant idea, by the way.
And because this relationship, you give me 10 marketers, 9 of them have, I don't want to say toxic, but not healthy relationships with their leader. And it's not because the marketers don't know what they're doing. It's not because the CEO is awful. It's just the dynamic, because everyone thinks they know marketing. CEO, like, it's the thing you think you can control to grow your business, but you sort of have to let go of control, right, to grow your business. And marketers end up in this position where, like, what you were talking about press conference, I'm thinking of like Bill Belichick or something. Like, that's the attitude. We all get to the place where we're just like, we just did our best. And,
yeah, but like, you're never going to win that game. Why'd you do that? Why? We need more leads. And I'm like, well, 2 weeks ago, your goal was this. Now it's more lead. We can't turn that battleship. This is not a switch. I am not gatekeeping good.
And I think because marketing is it's not black and white, and that's not a good answer. But what happens is like they'll hone in and they'll go like, oh, we did some Google ads and that seemed to work. Turn off everything else. And as the marketer, you have the responsibility to go like, well, no, that's not how it works. And then they don't like to hear that. Like, and that's again not knocking the CEOs. That's just or CFOs who control the budget. It's just a really hard position to be in.
Yeah. Why do we do it then?
Nobody told us this, Jimmy. I didn't learn this in college.
This is where in my marketing or broadcasting days, I was actively trying not to get promoted because I saw the different problems that the person above me was dealing with. And I was like, those problems suck. And I don't want to solve those problems. I want to solve these problems. And we just always get taught, well, what comes after 9th grade? It's 10th grade. You get promoted. So like your job is to get promoted. I remember talking to my dad, who was a firefighter, was like, because he was a lieutenant, and he was like, I'd be a captain. And we're like, then chief. He's like, no. And I'm like, do you not want to be in charge? He's like, different problems. I want to be in fires. I don't want to be in an office. My dad's like, I don't even like to use a typewriter. Never mind a computer. He's like, get me the hell away. He's like, give me an axe. Like, I want to hold an axe. That's the same. This is a similar discussion with a great clinician becomes a clinic director. That makes sense. 2 different jobs. And then we also just go, they'll figure it out. They figured out back pain. How hard can a clinic be? And I go, totally different thing. You could have a clinic director who's not even a clinician. I ran a country radio station, Andrea, a country radio station. That was the second station. I'm a rock guy. So I ran a rock station. I don't know if I ever told you this story.
No.
4 radio stations in one building. It was a very large nationwide radio company, 4 radio stations in our market. I ran one of them. Like I was the chief of that station. Well, they came to me one day and they were like, you have to fight. You have to let somebody go because there's budget cuts and you have the largest staff. Nobody on my team did anything wrong. We were doing well in comparison with the other stations. We were probably overperforming, but doesn't matter. And I'm 25 and I got to go home and come back tomorrow and fire someone. And everybody there been there longer than me. And most of them are older than me. I got to come back and fire somebody. So I went home, drank, came back the next day, walked into my boss's office and I'm like, I got a crazy idea. And my boss was used to me, because he'd known me since I was 19, 21, 20, whatever. And he goes, Jimmy, this is not the time for crazy ideas. Like, I just need a name. Like, this sucks. He's like, but you just have to give me a name. And I gave him a name. I gave him the name of the guy who had my position at the country station. Here's why. That guy made more money than any of my people. That guy was terribly underperforming. That guy also had an Eeyore of an attitude. Like, that guy could find something to complain about, like in the end zone of the Super Bowl, just could not get out of his own way. And then I made my case hungover. We will be a better team because I don't know 2 things about country music, but I don't need to. I'm good at running people. And I am, otherwise I wouldn't be doing this thing. And he goes, by 5 o'clock, someone did have a cardboard box, but it wasn't anybody on my team. Because I read the room. But that was the thing set in front of me. So just because you're a good clinician doesn't mean you're good. I mean, that guy was very good on the air. It's just a terrible program director. Like
right.
And
it's 2 different jobs. It's like your dad said about like wanting to have the axe. I mean, in marketing, it's obviously lower stakes or different stakes when we don't have an axe.
Maybe we should.
I know. I'm like, I don't know if that's a good idea. But the higher you get, like the less marketing you're doing.
Correct. That's the weird part.
You're managing like it's just a lot of stuff that doesn't feel like marketing. You're managing problems like and in some ways I enjoy it. Like you're in operations, you are in finance, you're managing the people, and when I say people, I mean you're managing your people and you're managing across the executive team, you're managing up to the CEO, the board, you name it. Like you're not necessarily the one, like you don't have the space. And I used to have to intentionally carve out time that like wasn't even during work time a lot of times to go like, all right, let me be creative so I can lead my team to do like cool marketing things. Because that's not what your role is when you get to a certain level.
In my experience, and I didn't even get to a VP level, I'm pretty good at director. I'm like, that's as high as I want to go, because otherwise I'm having just conversations that I didn't love. And it was hard to even get a meeting. They'd be like, hey, your next quarter goal is this. And I'm like, great, I'd love to learn more about it. And they're like, just go do it. And I'm like, all right, see ya. And then I'd go do it, put a plan together. Like, well, what's this? And I'm like, you told me your knee hurt. I said, I want to ask you a question about your knee. Take a look at the knee. You said, it's knee pain. Get to work. I did. And then I came back with a plan, started doing it. And you're like, what's this? And I'm like, that's the funny part. Like, do you think I'm just sitting on Instagram all day? I am, but that's not, you don't know that. No. But that's the funny part. Like people still, this last week, hey, we need this. Can we bring you in? Sure. How much will it cost? Might be $1. I might owe you money after this. What? I have no idea what the problem is yet. Do you know what the problem is? No. That's why you're calling me. How much will it cost? It's probably going to be less than $1 million. I'll save you some money. Definitely less than $1 million. Do you want it done right? I don't know what the problem is. So yeah, I spent a lot of time doing that when I would rather be in a lab figuring out weird ways to solve the problem, knowing 99 ways we're not going to do. I'm okay with that, but we're going to whittle it down to the one that we're going to run with. Did I show you this? Here's a market. Let's just play marketing now. So Andrea, you are the vice president of marketing for a small independent podcast in physical therapy hosted by Jimmy.
Got it.
I am going to be live streaming from a booth, somebody else's booth, one of our sponsors' booth, because I don't have the money for a booth. Like buying a booth would just be stupid. 10 grand or whatever.
CSM?
CSM. Go to CSM. Yeah. Sorry. See, smart. I didn't say that. You didn't assume. Good. I'm trying to think how to get people to come up to me. Number one, I'm going to do live stream of interviews, all CSM. So I'm having movers and shakers and people with something to say. And I'm like, let's talk. And I'm going to bring the lights, the camera, the big oversized microphone. But how do I get people to stop by just to say hi? That's a weak ask. I did a post on this last week. We're at booth 456. Come see us is a bullshit ask. Come say hi. I don't know you, recruiter lady.
Give me a
reason. Anyway, yeah, give me a reason. So I came up with these. These are merit badges.
I think I saw those.
And it's like first time presenter. It's ran into my past professor. I want to print a bunch of these as stickers, and I want you to earn your merit badge. Like you will come to me, you'll present your case, and then I will bestow it upon you. And then you stick it to the back of your laptop or your Yeti or your Odwalla, whatever those water bottles are. And I'm thinking of these things because number one, I don't like scavenger hunts because it's too much, but I earned that. Give it to me. I want this to represent me. It's not a scavenger hunt. It's not a scavenger hunt because I don't do them. Like as corny and cheesy as I am, when I go to a conference, I'm like, go get your stamp and maybe win. I'm like, I'm good. I'm going to do 0. None. So thoughts on me pressing I want pictures with people getting their thing. I want stuff after.
Of course. Exactly.
I want people to post, I earned this.
Generated content. You are all over it.
So thoughts, is the juice worth the squeeze on me getting 100 of 10 of these printed out and then be like, come, if you earned your badge, now come to booth 456, get your badge while supplies last.
Well, yes, for a few reasons. But there's a little bit of FOMO. Like I need to earn my badge. I
did earn it. I need the credit.
Exactly.
Yeah. What else would you amp to that? Is there any angle I'm not seeing? And I'm putting you on the spot. But that's okay. We're always put on the spot.
No, there's I'm sure there's an angle. So I think it's not a scavenger hunt. I think it's a badge. They're creating content. You're like making a big deal of it when they're there. What else do they get to be there? So they get there, they talk. You're giving them maybe some media.
So this is not just for people guests. this is for people. This is for listeners. Like, I want them to have earned something, and I started putting these out on social, and I wanted to see if there were, I didn't say we might do this if it gets 100 likes, 100 retweets, and my wife will let me quit my job and be a golf professional. Like, I get those, but like this was like, hey, who would have earned this? And then I just started putting them out, and people were like, I'm now getting emails on our website. Can I purchase that? And that's when I'm onto something. That's when I want to give it out for free. When you're like, how do I give you $6 to get 5 of these? And I'm like, got it.
You got it. I mean, you've got it.
So I see like a little Rubbermaid case, little dividers. Okay. And you got the 10 Timers Club. You've been to 10 CSMs. Okay. There you go. All right. Let's put that on. All right, let's take a little quick picture of that.
Like, I'm picturing like the sash for Boy Scout, like that.
So my outfit, so I have a thing at CSM. First day of CSM, I wear a ridiculous outfit. When I worked for Fox, their color was orange. I wore a complete orange suit, orange jacket, orange tie, orange pants, orange Converse. When I host the Foundation for Physical Therapy Research Gala, I wore a black suit with like chalk physics. I look like Bill Nye the Science Guy. Like it was a research gala. Boom. So this year I'm going red tuxedo jacket because we've got Valentine's Day on Saturday. So I'm going all about the heart angle. I legitimately bought a tuxedo jacket, not like an Oppa Suits corny $68. I bought a legit tuxedo jacket, and I'm going to wear that because in my mind, I'm going to be standing amongst a bunch of polo shirts, and I'm in a booth, and everyone's got squeezy balls and pens. How do you stand out? Either I don't go because you won't notice me if I'm not there because it's the sea of sameness, or I need to slap you across the face with, why is that guy wearing a bow tie? I need to find out what that, and then someone will be like, that's Jimmy. He talks a lot. And like, oh, okay. I don't need you to love me. I just need you to know like what the hell that guy's doing there. Do you remember SaveToby.com?
No.
One of the first viral websites. I'll get the whole Wikipedia story. We could do an entire episode on this. This is in 1997, 1998. Websites were a thing, kind of. And then someone told me in the hallway about SaveToby.com. And I'm like, what's this? And like, a guy's going to kill a bunny and eat it.
Oh, God, yes.
And I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, unless he gets enough donations to like 10,000 people giving him $1. The thing is, when you went there, you saw like the little thermometer.
Right.
What?
This is the one where you like bought a pixel for like $1?
No, that was a different one.
Okay.
This was legitimately, some guy was like, here's a picture of a bunny. If the bunny doesn't get enough donations by this date, bunny dies. The thing is, the more clicks it got, early Google, the higher it would rank on search. And then this was before social. This was word of mouth. You had to go look. And then when you're there, you're like, this isn't real. But what if it is? Give $1 and save Toby. Just save Toby.
Right. To potentially save Toby.
I mean, this also brings about, there's a genre of social media video / post that I must have watched enough of these. Now I see a ton of them, which is this like first person point of view camera guy talking to people on the street, homeless people, and being like, can I get you some food?
Yes.
That gets so much view and traffic. That channel makes money enough for them to fund doing the work and giving the thing. And I hope anyway, at least what I'm seeing. I mean, I know there's always going to be just douchebags out there that take advantage of it. But there's a guy, Victor something, drives around and is like, he's like, I was on the street. Do you want to get off the street? If you say yes, I fly you. I think he's in like New England. And he's like, I fly you to Florida. I pay for the flight. I pay for rehab. I get you a job. And I hope it's real because I watched the damn video because it's a before, during, and after story. It's compelling. Here's the problem. Let's go back to our conversation with CEOs and CMOs. If you pitch that idea in a boardroom, would it ever make it out of the boardroom?
No, I'd be fired.
Do you know who Big Dawes is?
No.
He's a guy. who's just a content creator. And again, I hate that term, but he does. And he'll walk on a college campus with a football. And of course, he's got like people behind him shooting from 16 different angles. And he'll just like see some girl on a college campus, walking to class, AirPods in, books, whatever. And he'll go, I'll give you $500 if you catch this ball. And he just throws the ball up.
Huh.
And then the video slows down. And you're watching. She's going to catch it. She's going to catch it. She's going to catch it. And she doesn't. And you're like, wah, wah. And then you see the same type of video like 3 days later, and she does. If you were in a marketing meeting and you were like, so I'm going to walk around and give away money. And they're like, how does that money relate back directly? What is 1 degree of Kevin Bacon? 1 degree of getting the more money. We need more money because we're also paying for you and the camera crew. It doesn't. We're going to gain so much attention that this $500 video we do once will make 20 times that over the lifetime of the video. And then we gain a subscriber, and then they watch 30 of those videos, and now we've 400x the budget. But you can't explain it in a boardroom.
You can't explain it. And this goes back to attribution, where like we can't always just go back to one asset and say this drove a customer because it's over X amount of time. It's like watching multiple, like we all follow those different types of things, right? And it's like, I can't say what video it was that made me want to start following or get like caught up in certain accounts.
This is why I won't do affiliate marketing. Like organizations have been like, we'll give you a promo code and then we'll pay you from that. And I'm like, okay, but the payment needs to be redonkulous. 10% of what you made, I don't do it. Like, right. Because I'll feel I will be reading your live read and I'll feel like I'm getting robbed every time because I'm definitely doing something. You're definitely getting something and it might pay off. I might get people to your website and your product sucks. I did my job, but didn't get paid for it. That isn't fair. You pay me. Now you want to do a combo deal? We'll pay you X. And then on top of that, if it hits, sure. Or we pay you, we give you no cut. Great. Because of attribution. And I'm probably this way because I came from traditional broadcast media where like good luck attributing radio. I mean, even the radio rating system was called Arbitron. And every quarterly when the ratings would come out, oh, what are the arbitrary ratings from Arbitron this quarter? They're just making them up. They're just making them up. Here's how I would tell people. I had a hardcore CEO thinking about sponsoring my podcast. And they're like, well, how do we know? And I go, how many clinicians do you have? And he was like 80. And I go, email every one of them 2 questions. Do you listen to physical therapy podcasts? If yes, they can answer the next one. Name 2 that you've listened to in the last 30 days. If I'm not one of them, don't call me back. There's your attribution. Your own people.
It's I always say you need to look at it directionally.
What does that mean?
You need to look at attribution directionally. So gone are the days where we can go like someone did this thing and that's what drove them. Like you need to look at it, like look at all of the data, look at behaviors, talk to people, and then go, these sorts of things drive a customer or a client or views or whatever it is that you're trying to drive.
What are we solving for? Should be the first question. It's always the first question out of my mouth. I try to hold what's your budget. I've played with AI. I hated when people would ask me what your budget in the first 3 questions. So like, oh, here we go. I'm going to say a number and then you're going to imagine. I understand it now. I usually follow up. What budget are we like ballparking? Is this a $10 problem, a $1,000 problem, a $10,000 problem, or a $100,000 problem? I like asking it that way. Well, we're bleeding money. I'm like, okay, so it's not $1 or $1,000. We're talking 10 or 100. If this doesn't go away, are you still a business in 5 years? Probably not. Now we know what we're dealing with. Would you? Is this like tourniquet, go to the emergency room, or is this like gauze and stay off it for a few days? Like I like asking it in healthcare terms, but maybe you're explaining a lot. You're asking, what did you say? Look at it directionally.
Just look at it directionally, right?
You're asking a healthcare person to look at something directionally. And we're very cause and effect. And I know that. And yet everything depends in physical therapy. We love that go-to. So I want to be like, maybe I should open up a marketing agency called It Depends Marketing.
Right.
Depends on what? A lot of things.
And that's where a lot of the friction and hard relationships come from. It's maybe because you were asking healthcare people to look at it that way, but also we're asking PE like investors to look at it that way, and CFOs who are like, well, no, these two numbers, if I add these together, it's going to equal this thing, and this is what's going to happen. And so it's not a good answer. And that's not to say we can't attribute things, but I think we can't attribute all of the things. Like we should know what our cost to acquire a customer is. We should know what their lifetime value is. Like we absolutely should know what the lifetime value of a customer is, because that's when we're talking about budget, I go like, what is it worth to you? If I acquire one customer for you,
what's it worth?
What is it worth?
I remember staffing agencies, travel therapy and staffing agencies. I'll get one of them back on as a sponsor, but I'm like, I wanted to learn their industry. So I took them out to dinner and I got a bunch of drinks in them. And I go, what's one contract worth? And then they told me, and I was like, oh, my price just changed. And someone was like, that's not okay. And I go, that is 1000% okay. Me getting you one thing would lead, and this, I don't know if it's right, but they were like 15 grand. We get 15 grand for every fish we catch. And I'm like, well, then I'm charging you $5,000 a month for a year. You don't think you're going to get 5 fish from being heard and seen several 100,000 times on this podcast? Then you don't understand how math works. How many times do you have to touch someone to make them get on the phone? How many phone calls do you need to close one contract? If you don't know those numbers, I don't want to talk to you, because then no matter what story I tell you, you can't see the rabbit trail. But if you do know those numbers, I go, well, if I show it to 100 people, will one get a call? Yeah. Great. How many calls do you need to close? That's 2 degrees. Hear about it, think about it, feel it, got it. Book a call to close. For 15 grand, what's that worth? Not free.
Not free.
What are you seeing out in the world right now that excites you in marketing and healthcare and all the things that you're doing?
Oh, so many things. Optimistic. I mean, optimistic. So I think like all of this chat around AI stuff, like I was not an early adopter of AI because I was sort of like, no.
I think if you're adopting it now, you're still early. I think most people aren't doing it.
It's there. But I was very much like, I was in-house at the time as a leader, and I was just like, we have to honor the craft. Like we're copywriters and we're creatives, and like we can't do this, and I still don't use it to like generate a lot of content. I use it as a partner for a lot of things, and I do use it operationally, and I use it for analytics. And but it's exciting in healthcare for the reasons we sort of talked about. Is I think it is this interesting turning point for patients and their behaviors. Like people are frustrated, they want to feel empowered, they want to get answers. We have a lot of issues it's not going to solve, but I think it is amazing for healthcare consumers to have this at their fingertips.
Agreed. Yeah. How it's going to play out, we will be laughing at how clueless we are now.
Yes.
2 years from now, when someone starts doing it. I've met with some groups, large practices, so consumer facing, business to consumer. But their biggest problems when I get down to it, and I know this, but I'm like, where are you in the journey? And they're like, hiring. And I'm like, share screen. I don't come with slide decks anymore. Nope. You are telegraphing what is important, or you're telling me what's important and you're showing me something else. And I just go, incongruity. So I go, let's go look at your last 10 LinkedIn posts. Let's look at your YouTube. What are you telling the world? We need to hire. Why are you showing me random, poorly produced rotator cuff exercises that get 38 views on YouTube when you need to hire clinicians? Whoop, whoop. Not. So then show me the different ways. I got one group and I asked them for information. I was like, can you show me you tell me email is the best way you gain customers. Right? Somewhere in the world, they sign up for a webinar, they click on a thing, they ask for a PDF, a lead magnet, and you say email. And I go, can I see those emails? And they're like, no. And I'm like, then I can't. That's like being like my knee hurts and I can't, but I'm not gonna bring the knee with me to the appointment. Oh, okay. I don't know. It could be bleeding. Like you're telling me you do email. I did an interview the other day, a week or two ago with somebody, and this was about policy. This guy was like, "We are going to do emails. No, we are doing this better. We are Coke. They are Pepsi. We are doing it better than Pepsi." And I'm like, "Awesome. How?" And they're like, "Well, we're going to send emails." And I was like, "Okay." The other group is also sending emails. Are you going to send them to better people more often? Are they going to be written better? And they were like, "Well, I don't really know." And they didn't have an answer. And I literally was like, I think I like in a moment of like, just wanted to hold up a mirror. I'm like, are you just going to write all of yours in capital letter? Like, how are you going to be different? Are you just going to go caps lock on me? That's your differentiating factor? Good luck. But these are the stupid things that Andrea and I have in our brains when someone's like, we should do an email campaign. And I go, great. To whom, for what, how?
Why?
And they're like, I said, Jimmy, I said email. And I was like,
send the
yes.
Email. Jimmy, just send the email.
Thank you. I'm going to send one right now. Do you care what's in it?
Just
there was a billboard campaign, and I'm going to screw up the name, but it doesn't matter. I love campaigns like this. Did you ever see like somebody designed an ad and it was clearly done in Microsoft Paint?
Yes.
And it said, "Our graphic designer quit. Do you know anyone?" And I was like, and it was like written. And I'm like, that's an ad, people. That's an ad. Well, this guy did. It was for something. I love great marketing in boring sectors. When someone really, really is like understands the assignment. So this was for, and I might screw it up, like New Mexico or a town in New Mexico's tourism. And instead of saying like, just, all right, spend 10 grand on a photographer, go get us some landscapes, get us some amazing photos because we're going to put them on billboards. They decided billboard was the angle because it wanted to be local. And I like when the world goes digital, go analog. And when the world starts going analog, go digital, right? Just be ahead of the curve. These were analog billboard ads. And they were like sort of homemade. And it was this dude who sort of looked dorky. Like he was excited to be in front of the camera. And he was like, "Hey, I'm Jimmy, 43 years old. I just moved to the area. Are you looking for a kayak buddy?" And then it was like newtosantafe.com.
Huh.
"Hey, I'm Jimmy," like him hiking. Like, "Hey, I'm Jimmy. I'm looking for a hiking buddy. Like, I'm new to the area. newtosantafe.com. And it was all about promoting all the things that are going on that you might not know about if you're new to the area. And it was mind-numbingly brilliant.
So good.
In its simplicity. And I love crap like that. I just love it. Because more AI ads. Oh my God. I saw one group that I worked with running AI ads. I watched it 3 times because I was like, I don't know who this is for. Like, maybe their brilliance is that I had to watch it because I'm dumbfounded, but like the average person ain't watching it like me.
Give them 3 views.
Yeah, I gave them 3 views because I'm like, my man, you need it. But also it's an ad, so like, you just paid 3 times. And I'm not going to close.
Vanity metrics, right? Jimmy watched the ad 3 times because it was so awful.
Must be great. Actually, it was shit. Well, that's the angle, right? Like from the Howard Stern Private Parts movie, we have data. The average Howard Stern fan listens for 4 hours. The guy's like, "That's great." He goes, "The average Howard Stern hater listens for 6 hours." It's like, what? He understood the assignment.
Exactly.
The assignment was be provocative and get people to listen, not say WNBC, not say the call letters right. That wasn't the assignment. When everybody in the world is going for perfection, go for imperfection. When everybody catches up, go the other way. Zig. Have you ever heard of IHateStevenSinger.com?
Yes.
Brilliant ad campaign in Philly. The first time I saw it, I was like, what's this crap? And then, of course, what did I do? Went to the website.
Exactly.
Needed to. It was an itch I needed to scratch. All right. Parting shots. What do you got for today? Mic drop moment. This was pretty much Jimmy coming in hot on a Monday. I feel like I had a lot to say.
Well, I already talked about AI. What can I say that we just talked about? Don't send an email just to send an email.
Oh. Say that again.
Don't send an email just to send an email.
So my parting shot will piggyback on that. I annoy people in meetings because I act like a petulant 5-year-old. I just go, why? And if you can't tell me it's a dumb idea, or we get to the real reason, and then when we get to the real reason, I go, is the email the best way to do that? And then listen, marketing is a skill. And you said it right, because people consume so much of it. Hey, how hard could it be? How hard could it be? Look, you do some things, you put money behind it, and then money shows up. How hard could it be? Not hard. I'll do the CFO thing for a month. You do this, and we'll see which one of us screws up. Not me. All right. Find Andrea on LinkedIn. I'll put the link in the show notes, and then we'll talk next week. I'll be more prepared. I just woke up late. It's cold here in the Northeast. I didn't get out of bed early enough.
It's chilly.
But I think this was good. And remember, kids, marketing.
That's it for this one. But we're just getting warmed up. Smash follow, send it to a friend, or crank up the next episode. Want to go deeper? Hit us at ptpintcast.com. Or find us on YouTube and socials at ptpintcast. And legally, none of this was advice. It's for entertainment purposes only. See, Keith? We read the script. Happy now?